What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of Sword Art Online Alicization. And overall, love this week's episode. Phenomenal art and animation. We got a new OP and ED, which I will talk about very, very soon once we get to that part of the episode. And yeah, overall, this episode was fantastic. Can't wait to see more of SAO. And by the way, if any of you guys are wondering if I'm going to be picking up any new series this season, like Mob Psycho 100, or Season 2, or The Promised Neverland, or the new series Dororo, the Samurai Show, no, just because that honestly all the shows that I'm mildly curious about and that I do give a shit about, like, there's Kakegurui Season 2, Mob Psycho Season 2, Promised Neverland, and a few other shows, they're all airing during the week, and I don't want to have too many complications with my with school, and I don't want to have to worry about because that's something I have with TG. If you guys remember when I was reviewing TG Season 2 of Re, the reviews would constantly get, a few times the reviews would get delayed like a couple days because of school. So I don't want to have that repeating. And that's why I only really review series that air on the weekends. So because of that, I will not be picking up any new seasons for the season. But once April rolls around, we're back at it. We got Attack on Titan Season 3, or the second half, or Season 4, I should say, or the second half of Season 3 of Attack on Titan Season 3. We got Attack on Titan. I know, and that's probably about it, because I don't think anything else I've really bid that I'm going to be watching is going to be airing during spring. But you guys know that I'm going to be right there for Attack on Titan Season 3. I can't wait to see what we got for the set because that little post Chrissy in the last episode was amazing. But yeah, enough jibber jabber. Oh, one last thing, guys. My thoughts on the nominees of the Crunchyroll Anime Awards are up. The video's out there, so if you guys want to check that out, check it out. I might have it put up in the iCard spot if you want, if I remember. But yeah, if you guys want to check out that video, check it out. Overall, I thought the nominees were pretty good this year. Crunchyroll's definitely been taking the criticism they've gotten for the last couple years. There's no Hiroaka's not going to be sweeping this year because Hiroaka barely got nominated for anything. There were even categories where I was like, Hiroaka show should be here, but it's not. Probably because they were like, oh, we don't want to because people were so pissed off. Anime of the Year, Hiroaka isn't there. Attack on Titan Season 3 was noticeably screwed. It did not get nominated for Best Art Animation, which I don't know why. Attack on Titan Season 3 was fucking phenomenal. And if you guys saw my reviews, you guys know that I absolutely love the art animation of that show, and I thought it was the best ever. Like I said, the Levi thing, like the Levi chase scene in episode 2, like I said in my review in that episode, I said that it took Wit Studios apparently 3 months to make that. It took them 3 months to do that whole scene. How they didn't get nominated is a crime and a shame. So shame on all the judges that didn't nominate Attack on Titan Season 3, because and also Futaba didn't get nominated for Best Girl. That's some bullshit right there. Futaba show should have got nominated for Best Girl because she is indeed Best Girl of the Year. But there's May from Bunny Girl Senpai, which, let's be honest, she's winning. But yeah, enough of me talking about that stuff. Let's get into the episode. So let's get into it, guys. So we started this episode off. Kirito, he's looking over at the armory. The guy making sure there's no one there. Says, alright, this coast's clear. They go in there. They're like, Yujo's like, wow, man, there's a lot of shit. There's a lot of swords in that armory and weapons in here. Yeah, man. Yeah, so they started like, okay, man, let's look for our swords. So they look around for their swords. Kirito manages to find one. Or Yujo manages to find them. Kirito's still kind of looking around. Yujo finds a sword, pulls it out of its sheath, and then just marvels at it. And I love Kirito's like, yo, bro! How long you plan on just sitting there and all? He's like, oh yeah, sorry, man. I just couldn't help myself. So they both grab their swords and like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. So they leave. So Kirito starts leaving, and then Yujo's about to follow him, and they see the Tsunami. It's like, yo, and he's like, hey, Kirito, you think maybe we should try this armor? Try out some armor to help us out? He's like, bro, we never really worn armor before, so let's stick to what we know, which makes sense. And so but then he sees these new clothes, and he's like, oh, we can help ourselves with those, though. And I love how they're the exacts, and I love how these clothes in this armory, this big ass giant armory, has clothes that are the exact same colors as Kirito and Yujo. I love that fact. And also, while they're actually in the armory, Yujo asks Kirito, hey man, what you think that they're trying to start an army here with all these weapons they got? I mean, aren't the Integral Knights good enough? And Kirito's like, no, they're not here trying to start armor. They're making sure that nobody else can build these. because because we know earlier in the last week, we knew that because last week that we know that the administrator banned all hunting and all that stuff and murder as murder hunting just to make sure that nobody can succeed her in her power, because that's a great way to get them to get AXP, like just like any RPG is, killing other players and hunting shit, just like any RPG. So and I'm assuming this is the same way for this, so people don't get the really good weapons. All the really good stuff's in here, I'm assuming. And so they leave. They put on their new clothes. What did I say? I love Kirito uses no outfit with with the kind of these with the bomb parts and everything. I love them. The only problem I don't really like about them is that I feel like they're a little too open at the top. Like I feel like the top part should be closed up a little bit more. That's just me though. But that's a little thing. But overall, I love their new design. I love their new suit designs. I love how the bottom part kind of has that, it's kind of airy, and I just love the overall look of the suits. So, and then we get the new OP place, which overall I loved the OP. Thought it was great. I loved it. Is it as good as the Lisa one from last time? No, but that could just be my personal bias towards Lisa, and you guys know I love her music. Absolutely love her music, and all the OP she has done. So, now, could they, and I hope they do bring her back later on, because I was kind of oh, come on, you're getting rid of Lisa already? So hopefully maybe around the end of the series, or maybe around the midpoint, they might bring her back. That's what I hope anyway, because, I love me some Lisa. Maybe you could throw in some Asian Kung Fu Generations while you're at it. I know, because, they are indeed the goats, so I throw them in there as well, but, hopefully Lisa does come back maybe around the end of this series. So overall, I love the OP. I really dug the shot where we got the administrator rising from a pool of blood. Ooh, I love that shot. I love that scene, because you guys know how much I love me some blood. So that scene was that my favorite OP. They even do that. They even do the handshake thing they did in the first OP, but yet we have legit never seen that handshake in the actual show before. But we've seen it but we've seen it in the OPs. Why is it in the OPs but not in the actual show? So I find that weird. Anyway, so let's get back to the show. When we get back to the show, we got the arrow dude throwing arrows at Kirito and using the red suit that we saw, the red armor that we saw a couple weeks back. Right before Yujo and Kirito made their way over there to the Great Library. So the dude found them. He's fired. And so they dodged the first batch. And then he's like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Grabs all the arrows he got in his a little quiver, puts them into his bow, and fires them all. And just hopes to God one of them hits. They all miss. Well, one of them manages to cut Yujo's clothes, but that's about it. And so we see Yujo manages to block a couple of them. We get to Kirito, and Yujo's like, hey Kirito, you okay, man? And when you see Kirito, at first I thought you took an arrow to the knee, yeah. Bring back old Skyrim memes. But nah, we see that just barely missed him, and he was like, nah, man, I'm good, barely. And so it looks like that shot actually broke the little string on the bow, because of how many arrows he had to shoot from it. And so then he okay, fuck this. And then the whole bow, he does the whole system call, he doing that I think it was the Great Weapon Act, the one where it enhances your weapons, Enhanced Weapon Act, I think it was called. He does that, but the whole bow and almost his entire body just gets engulfed in fire, and it was just so badass. I was like, this is fucking badass. Even Kirito also thinks so when he starts getting engulfed in flames. Kirito's like, no, that's cool. And then Yujo's like, bro, this ain't the time for you to get impressed. And so they're trying to think of some plan while the dude is just sitting there engulfed in flames. And so Kirito's like, knowing from the fact of what he's done with his new form, he probably can't shoot multiple arrows at once. I have to believe that, because we know that believing is kind of like the crux of this world. And how much you would believe in yourself, how much self-confidence you got, and almost just your overall pride, eating all that stuff. You can easily break the system if you have enough of it. We have seen it countless times. So, I'm assuming that's why Kira says, I have to believe this man can only shoot one at a time. He can't do rapid fire. And usually they're like, what do you mean, you have to believe? And he's like, alright, fine. So Kirito goes in there first to charges at him. He fires an arrow, and Kirito's like, system call, generator, cryogenic element, discharge! So they're like, so then these like ice, so then like these ice shields pop up the stairs, and the dude fires an arrow, goes through the first one, and then just breezes through that one. But for some reason, the last one is where the arrow started to struggle, and it's just just like a little struggle between two. Why that last one in person? Why that last one? Why that one? Why that last one in particular? I don't know. Maybe the last one had the most magic behind it. I don't know. Maybe his arrow, his firepower got weaker as it went through the other shield because it's ice against fire. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, they were struggling on that last one, and then the thing starts growing wings and becomes a phoenix. Or maybe it's an eagle for all I know, but I'm assuming it's a phoenix. Goes to the last one. Kirito like swings his sword in his hand, and then the sword just starts indefinitely spinning around his hand as his hand's just sitting out there like this. Just his palms out. He's not moving his fingers or nothing. He just has it sitting there, and the sword's moving. It's moving around, so it's like he's wielding a Mjolnir or something. So he's like, so then he got the shield going down. The thing isn't the bird or the arrow, the phoenix, whatever you want to call it, is face off against that one. They're having this like little struggle going on there. Kirito ends up getting knocked all the way back into the wall. There's even when he hits the wall, there's a decent sized hole in it too when he hits the wall. And so right after that, Kirito he like gets on the floor, and then Yuzo's like, Kirito, and he's like, no man, I'm good. Charge in, do your thing, you gotta go. So Yuzo charges in there, goes like up a 3 steps, then jumps into the air, and then we get this nice little panic shot before it's in slow motion. Yuzo's like, oh shit, what do I do? What do I do now? I did not think this far ahead. I love Yuzo's like, oh shit, what do I do next? I did not think this far ahead. Crap. And so then he remembers what Kirito told him back around the beginning of the series about infusing your sword with something, for power and all that stuff. And so he's like, oh yeah, what should I infuse my sword with? And we see the shot of Alice, and he's like, yes, that's it, that's all I need. And then so then they clash. And then we got their swords clash, or like his bow and Yuzo's sword clashing out. It looks like the sword was actually kind of melting a little bit. It seems like, because I know there was like smoke or something emanating from that, so maybe it was from the fire, maybe it was from the sword, but whatever the case may be. Yuzo then fires up his sword and encourages it to be like, you were formed from the harsh coals of the End Mountain's blizzards. Do not let these pathetic flames defeat you. And then his sword becomes like sub-zero levels of cold and freezes his whole arm and a little bit of like his shoulder area and almost a little bit of his body. And so Yuzo just kind of like sends him back and goes in for another hit. And actually, one thing, when we saw this, when we see the inside of the dude's, like the mask, and we see the dude's eye, at first I actually thought that was actually that might have actually been Yujo's mentor, because he has a red eyebrow, and Yujo's mentor, if I remember correctly, had red eyebrows, red hair, all this stuff. It ended up not, but that was like, I thought for a second, but when I was watching the first half of the episode, I was like, oh, maybe it's him. That's, this integral knight. And so the dude's on his knees, the ice is slowly starting to take over a little bit more parts of his body, and he says, boy! Okay, he doesn't say it like crazy, he was like, boy. It's on to Yuzo. What was the source, what was that secret skill you used? He says, Einkrad style, 2-strike hit. What was it? I think it was like, 2-strike hit, vertical arc, I think it was called. It might have had another part in the name, but that was pretty much just what he's like, 2-hit strike. And so the Kirito shows up, he's like, hey, he's like, oh bro, you okay man? He's like, yeah man, I'm fine. And he asks him the same question, what was that skill used? He says, Einkrad style, spinning shield. Yep, I say that's a good title. I say that's a good title for it. But, yeah, so anyway, and then he says, that was a splendid battle we had, but and they tells him actually that that on the 50th floor there in the I forgot the hall, it was like the Great Hall of like I forget what the exact name of it was, but in that hall there's about a bunch of table knights there that are ready there, and they have orders to kill you. They're not gonna try to take you in alive. They're legit going to kill you. And he's like, whoa, man, you sure? Kira's like, whoa, man, oh man, you think you sure you should be telling us this? He's like, you have defeated me in battle. I will be revoked of my knightship, and I will be frozen for eternity. So who the fuck cares? Before I am given such shame, I want you to kill me. And so they're like, oh shit, wait, what? And he's like, do not hesitate. No need to hesitate. Just do it. And so he asks for their names. And Yujo tells me I'm Yujo, Kirito tells him he's Kirito, and they said that he is Dolbert. I think his name was Dolbert. And then Yujo remembers that name, Dolbert, and was actually the Integral Knight that kidnapped Alice in the OLC. Now, I don't know how Yujo's managed to put two and two together, because I'm pretty sure we weren't told what the dude's name was in that episode. Maybe he found out sometime off screen, or something else happened, but yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that happened off screen or whatever, but Yujo knows this. He's like, she was an 11-year-old girl when you bound her to chains, and then raises his sword. It's about to decapitate this dude. The dude even bends down his neck like it's fucking Game of Thrones up in here. By the way, I do not watch Game of Thrones. I just know that there's a decapitation in it. So the decapitation's got this dude like it's Game of Thrones up in here. And then when she bends down his neck, Yujo kind of like stops. Kirito puts his hand on his shoulder. He's like, why are you trying to stop me? You asked us for us to kill him, right? He's like, he has been defeated in battle. You do not raise your sword in that way. So Kirito, even though the dude said, kill me, Kirito's not gonna let Yujo finish him off. I guess where he's like, I guess not where he's gonna decapitate him. I don't know, whatever, maybe it's some honor thing or something, I don't know. But whatever the case may be. So after that, they then talk about the dude's past. I was like, that he probably doesn't remember this, and the Integral Knight also says that, yeah, man, I do not remember what you're talking about. I incarcerated a little girl. I do not remember that day. And he then goes into his past of how he was right there, and that he was looked over the region that Kirito and Yujo lived in, and that he said, yes, you're right, until 8 years ago, where he did this feat, where he got a promotion to look over the cathedral with the new armor. And so they're like, do you remember what the feat was? And he says, nah, man. He told him that feat was discovering Alice, and that's how you got promoted. And then he's like, my memories, they have been manipulated. That would explain this dream I have where he is sitting in a chair, and then there's this woman with a silver ring on her finger, and she's shaking him. Now he has that same ring on his finger, so we can deduce through our sleuthing that these two are indeed married. But he can't see her face because the administrator took away his memories or manipulated them to where he wouldn't remember them. And so because of this, he doesn't remember his past and all that stuff. And so he tells him, like, he tells him you have three choices. 1, take your punishment. 2, heal and come back after us. Or 3, and he walks away. He doesn't even say what the third option was. He just walks off, and then he just looks at Yujo. What was the third option? Get decapitated by Yujo? But Yujo just puts his sword back and they leave. Okay, can someone please explain what that whole section was? Because I am completely and utterly lost on what the hell that was all about. Anyway, so Kirito and Yujo go up the stairs, go a couple more flights. They're like, okay, we're on the 29th floor, and that top of the floor, down on the 50th floor, that those guys can come up. And so they're kind of wondering, like, what should we do? Should we just charge straight in there? Kirito's like, nah, well, there's no way there's shortcuts, so I would prefer we took them on. But we should try taking them. We can probably handle them if they're one at a time, in close quarters. But when there's many of them, we're probably not going to be able to do it unless he thinks of the idea of using the perfect weapon act that could possibly help him out. And then you're just like, hey man. And actually, while they're doing this, they're eating these dumplings, or maybe they're meat or pork buns. I don't know. But Kirito grabs these out of his shirt. Like I don't even know where he put these. Was there a pocket in there? How they not get squished when you ran into the wall or while you were fighting, bro? Like, did these just appear out of thin air? How did they get there? Like, speaking of Kirito's costume, one other thing I need to tell you, I don't know, for any of you people, for any of the guys watching the video who've also played the SAO video games, you guys, now, because Kirito's outfit reminds me of the outfit that Kirito wears in actually the visual novel cutscenes of Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment and Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment, which is like the first SAO game that got translated here. I know there was like another one before this that came out, but Hollow Fragment was the first one that actually got translated and was, brought over here to the States. So it kind of reminds me of the same color, because this costume also had like black mixed with like gold and silver. The same thing kind of happened. The same thing with this costume. I don't know if Ricky Kawahara is low-key starting to put in elements from the games. I mean, we saw in Fatal Bullet 2 characters from the games actually appear in Sword Art Online Alternatives. So maybe maybe one day we might see Ophelia get introduced into SAO, which I hope that day one day comes, because I love me some Ophelia. Well, that'll probably never happen, but a man can dream. Anyway, so his costume reminded me a lot of that. I don't know if Ricky Kawahara did that on purpose or not. So anyway, back to the episode. So they're eating their dumplings or pork buns, whatever the hell these things are, and Yusha tells them, "Hey man, my sword skill isn't really meant for combat, or not meant for attacking." He's like, "Oh really? Show me." So he pulls out the little sheet that has the command on. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're right. It doesn't really say it's meant for attacking, but it could come in handy." And then Yusha's like, "Hey Kirito, what's yours, man?" And he says, "You have to wait and see." Over there, keeping him in suspense, and right before they're about to start leaving, they notice these two girls on top of the stairs watching them. And so they come off from the stairway, and they're right in front of Kirito and Yuja, well, on top of the floor that they're on. And we find that's 2 little girls, and that's where the episode ends. So overall, love this episode. It was amazing, great art animation, phenomenal art animation, I should say. I'm definitely curious who these new little girls are, and the whole stuff with the card, and I'm so interested about this whole stuff with the memory manipulation stuff. I cannot wait to see we probably get a lot more dive into it. We'll probably go higher and higher up these floors. So I'm gonna look forward to seeing this. So yeah. So anyway, so overall, my final verdict for this week's episode is a 10 out of 10. Art animation was phenomenal, voice acting was great, and all that shit. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'll get the links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.